As a Colorado native, I consider Elitch Gardens to be a personal home park of mine, and today we're going to be counting down all of my tips, tricks, and secrets to having the best day ever at Elitch Gardens. Let's get into it. Before you enter the park, it is important to note that Elitch Gardens has a little bit of a unique ticketing system. Typically on elitchgardens.com, tickets can range from $70 to $80. Now, while this rate seems very fair and you're getting a great deal for the bang that Elitch Gardens can provide, there are ways to save money beyond buying tickets on Elitch Gardens' website. In the past, local grocery stores such as King Soopers and other Kroger dealers have offered Elitch Gardens discounted tickets for up to $20, $30, even $40 off the main ticketed price. Now, while these haven't run in the past couple years, there's additional modes to save on Elitch Gardens tickets. I recommend various third-party websites such as Tripster, Groupon, or Tiquet that offer online discounts, coupons, and even direct tickets to Elitch Gardens that can save you $10, $15, and even $20 off the elitch.com ticket rate. Moral of the story is, if you're going to buy tickets to Elitch Gardens, preferably don't buy them directly from Elitch's, as they'll often charge you more than you can get elsewhere. Sweet, so you got your tickets to Elitch Gardens. The hard part's out of the way. Now moving on to the parking section. And parking at Elitch's can be a little bit unique compared to other national chains, so let's talk about it. The park often opens in the summer at 10:30 a.m. I personally recommend getting to the park around 10 a.m. to secure a great spot in line and hopefully being one of the first people into the parking lot so you can be very, very close to the entrance. The Elitch Gardens parking lot is very big. I've never seen it run out of space, but it's important to note that getting there early will give you a better spot that'll be closer to the entrance and allow for the best bang for your buck. Something else to note too is that online parking from elitchgardens.com is often cheaper than the rate that they will charge you at the gate. It's important to buy your parking online so you can save that extra money that you can spend on additional features inside the park. As you walk up to the Elitch Gardens gate, it's important to note that there's some things to keep in mind that can help you save money down the road. One thing I'd recommend is renting a locker when you enter the park. Elitch Gardens has a quite strict on-ride policy for loose articles. This means that they will often require you to pay for a locker at the entrance to each ride, so I would recommend doing this up front and only keeping the most basic necessities on your person, such as phone, wallet, and keys. Unless you have somebody to leave a backpack with, checking a backpack at each ride can cost you $11 to $13 per locker and can really rack up your total at Elitch Gardens. So I would either recommend checking the backpack into a locker at the beginning of the day or just leaving it in the car. Additionally, Elitch Gardens allows for each guest to bring in clear sealed water bottles. This means that by bringing in 1 to 2 clear sealed water bottles per person, everyone can carry around their own water and save money down the road instead of having to pay money for the expensive marked up water inside the park. Alright, so now that you're inside the park, let's talk about a game plan to knock out all those coaster credits. Now this video is meant to cover the theme park side of Elitch Gardens, so let's talk about it. When you first enter, you'll be greeted with a Main Street USA-esque street. At the end of this is a iconic Elitch's Ferris wheel, and personally I recommend going right to start off your day. To the right is the most popular ride in the park, Mind Eraser, a Vekoma SLC, and this SLC often gets some of the longest lines in the park, so I recommend booking it there first and trying to get this credit knocked out of the way. After you've ridden Mind Eraser, it's important to beat the crowds to the other side of the park to avoid long lines. At the other side of the park, you'll find Boomerang, Half Pipe, Twister 2, and Sidewinder. From Mind Eraser, I would recommend hitting Boomerang first, then Half Pipe, then Twister 2, then Sidewinder. This path will save you the most time by avoiding long laps around the park and instead just hitting each coaster in sequential order. As far as each individual ride is concerned, it's important to note that you want to request with your ride operator to sit near the back of the train. On Mind Eraser, Twister 2, Boomerang, and Sidewinder, sitting near the back of the train will afford you the most G-forces and provide you the best possible experience when riding these attractions. As you are moving around the park in this order, it is important to keep in mind that if a ride is down or if the line is too long, it is certainly okay to skip it and move on to the next ride to revisit this attraction at a later time. However, keep in mind that the longer you wait and the more towards the middle of the day the time gets, the line will consistently get longer for this attraction. A lot of rides at Elitch Gardens have fairly low capacities, so lines can get upwards of an hour towards the middle of the day. Now, in order to save these hour-long lines, I would personally recommend getting all of these coaster credits done at the beginning of the day or at the very, very end of the day if you miss anything. In order to have the best day ever at Elitch Gardens, it's important to stop for food. Keep in mind, Elitch Gardens has a strict policy on outside food, and they do not allow any outside food to be brought into the park. What this means is, most likely you'll be forced to buy food for lunch inside the park. Now, there are some very popular spots within the park. Personally, the most popular place that I've found is Rustler's Food Court, located in the center of the park. This place has typical cafeteria-style food with chicken, burgers, and Mexican food offered at the grill. Rustler's is a great option for families as it allows everybody to get what they need. However, if you're just shopping for one or only need to feed 1 or 2 people, Basil and Tomato Pizza is another place I would recommend on Main Street. Basil and Tomato Pizza offers pizza, as the name would suggest, but more importantly, it's really a kind of quick and easy bite to grab while you're heading around the park. Additionally, keep in mind that there are vendors throughout the park that offer burgers, fries, hot dogs, funnel cakes, and other basic snacks and treats that can be bought individually and more location-based throughout the park. Keep in mind that Elitch Gardens is a relatively small park, which means that it can get pretty long lines for lunch. What this means is places like Rustler's Food Court are going to have fairly long lines at the popular locations like the chicken tender area or the burrito area. However, a good way to skip this line is noting that a lot of the food served in Rustler's Food Court can be found at other vendors throughout the park. So, if you're looking for chicken tenders at Rustler's, I would recommend heading outside of Rustler's and simply down the street to areas on Main Street or other vendors throughout the park to get your chicken tender fix, because again, saving time in line will be more time that you can spend riding rides. Once you've eaten, it's important to note that lines for the most popular attractions and coasters will be upwards of an hour, which means that it's a great time to knock out some of the quicker flat rides in the middle of the day. This includes the Octopus and the Drop Tower, as those are some of my favorite personal flat rides. And keep in mind that these lines are quick, easy, and they're very fun rides to go on while you're waiting for the main coaster ride. Once you've ridden everything in the park that you feel is important to you once, I would recommend going on for those re-rides towards the end of the day. Keep in mind that Elitch's has pretty long operating hours in the summer, and it's really cool to get some dusk and evening rides on some of the most popular attractions such as Mind Racer and Twister 2. I would personally recommend a night ride on Twister 2 as it was one of the most fun experiences of my life. Keep in mind that the out-of-control nature and wooden roller coaster aspect of Twister 2 makes it such a fun night ride. I would highly recommend that as a great way to cap out your day. For those of you visiting out of state, keep in mind that visiting the Elitch's Observatory Tower located in the middle of the park near the entrance is a great thing to do towards the end of the day to get beautiful views of the Colorado skyline. From here you can see the whole park, but not only that, you can see the entire Denver metro skyline area as well as beautiful views of the Rocky Mountains. For those of you not from Colorado, I think a trip atop the Elitch Gardens Observatory Lookout Pavilion can be a major highlight of your trip as it affords some of the most beautiful and breathtaking views of the Rocky Mountains, and honestly for many people the pictures atop here can be major highlights from the Elitch Gardens trip. That just about wraps up how to have the best day ever at Elitch Gardens. It's a pretty simple list for a pretty small park, however I feel if all these elements are executed well, you can have the best day ever at Elitch Gardens. Keep in mind that some of my favorite rides such as Sidewinder, Mind Racer, and Twister 2 are excellent rides to ride over and over again when crowds are light. Also keep in mind that visiting the park during the week and in those off hours of the summer will be great ways to maximize your time at the park with minimal lines. If you know that Elitch Gardens is a place you'll be visiting quite often throughout the summer, I would also recommend buying a season pass. A season pass will pay it off after 2 visits, and at Elitch Gardens, they offer great discounts on parking, dining, and all things Elitch Gardens. So keep in mind that a season pass can save you a lot of money down the road if you feel like you're going to be visiting the park at least twice throughout the summer. I would recommend them, and keep in mind too that there's other benefits beyond just the entry fee. But that's going to go ahead and about wrap up our video here. If anybody else has any suggestions for Elitch Gardens, such as tips, tricks, and other secrets to Elitch Gardens, please leave those in the comment section down below, as I want this video to be a great learning tool for those of you visiting Elitch Gardens for the first time. And once again, my name is Theme Parker. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have the best day ever at Elitch Gardens. Thank you.